this is not my platform, okay? I genuinely believe this is God's platform.
Still going to be your platform in court, Candy. It's God's platform is not going to be a legal defense. Now, guys, we got to check in with Candace Owens, the podcasting superstar and conservative, though she's kind of all over the place these days, a YouTuber with millions of followers who are tuning in as she weaves her web of conspiracies. And she would say that's not even pejoratively. She would call herself a conspiracy theorist and admit that everything she's doing is conspiracies. But she says, we don't know, but we know, which again is just a diabolically ridiculous and absurd thing to say. You either know something because it's backed up by facts and logic and evidence, or you don't, but we don't know, but we know. Like, what's going on here, people? Anyway, she is back spreading absolute insane nonsense, this time interviewing some random dude that she brought onto her podcast. The name he's going by these days is Mitch, but apparently has multiple identities, a very long and complicated past, has been on lots of podcasts telling all different conspiracies that he happens to personally be involved in. And so Mitch just so happened to have been at a military base on the day, a military base in Arizona, and he claims to have seen Erica Kirk alongside the Turning Point USA head of security and a Republican congressman who he named, and Candace named and showed the photo of, and saw them allegedly plotting, I guess. The idea is to take out Charlie, or in some sort of, because remember, the theory is now that France, Egypt, the U.S. government, Turning Point, and the Utah state and local police are all in on some plot to kill Charlie for some reason. Anyway, she had this Mitch guy on. She made these very serious claims, but there's one massive hole that's now been pointed out and made the whole thing look objectively ridiculous. Although apparently that guy was on the military base, his identification of these individuals and everything he claims to have seen is not in fact true or real. And I'll show you, but first let's just watch. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
And I decided that, you know what, this is not my platform, okay? I genuinely believe this is God's platform. I am a conduit. I don't know why I have a platform. And
Still going to be your platform in court, Candy. It's God's platform is not going to be a legal defense to defamation. Didn't God say something about not bearing false witness? I don't know. Don't quote me on religious matters.
And I don't know why you have this luck in life. I really don't. I don't know why these things happen to you or why they happen to me. But I know that my prayer was very intentional that night, that I received that email. So I'm going to allow the internet to hear your testimony, hear what you think. And I also want to show them a picture, because we did look through some congressmen, and I didn't tell you where they were congressmen from, but there is one that you thought looked familiar. And I am going to show that picture of him now. This is, and Skylar, someone's got to get in my ear because I'm blanking on his name. Mark Amodi. Is that right? Mark Amodi from Las Vegas. And you thought that this could potentially be the congressman that you saw on the 9th?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's
what
the one that walked closest
percentage?
to me.
That's the one that walked closest to you.
That's 95. I'm absolutely, after I've looked at it, that was definitely the guy.
That was definitely the guy. Remember that. We'll come back to that in a moment. But first, I just want to ask you guys something. Candace Owens just put on screen, image, name of a United States congressman who she is implicating in an international assassination plot. And she didn't know his name. She had to go to her producer, Skylar, in her ear and say, hey, can you remind me what his name is? What kind of prep have you done? What kind of is the research in the room with us if you are making such extraordinary accusations and not even remembering the names of the people involved? That's diabolical. I'm not good with names. And listen, a lot of these 60-something white old men congressmen do look alike and are hard to place. But aren't you prepared for these bombshell accusations that you are platforming and amplifying? And wouldn't you be vetting this information thoroughly and have it all in front of you and prepared? Or you're no, you're oh, was this the guy? Yeah, let's just throw his photo on screen implied in this international assassination plot. What's his name again? Like, you guys can't be impressed with this. Seriously? There are millions of people still eagerly tuning in to this investigative crack wizard. No, it's giving like amateur hour on steroids. Same thing where she thought that they were Discord messages, but they're actually text messages because she didn't read or didn't understand the indictment of Tyler Robinson, even though she keeps saying there's no evidence against him and that the messages are obviously fake. She didn't even know what kind of messages they are. Same way that she got so many, we went over this the other day, her whole theory about the Egyptian planes that hold the key to everything has been thoroughly debunked, and her data analysis and that she published in a super duper official spreadsheet, all of that, a huge percentage of it turned out to be inaccurate. And she was wrong. Many of them, the planes were actually on a different continent than the one that she listed. How many times does she have to get basic facts wrong before people stop trusting her? And here's why this matters. In this case, they are implicating this congressman, Mark Amoti. They're implicating him in the plot to conspire against Charlie Kirk or something, and saying that he was observed on September 9th at this military base in Arizona. He was, in fact, in Washington, D.C. on September 9th and is observable on video participating in a committee meeting. He posted on X, "For those of you information consumers who are stuck in practices of the old days, who prefer facts to dreams and falsehoods, take comfort knowing that in public service, there is this thing called the public record. The public record on September 8th indicates that I was returning to Washington, D.C. from my district and voting on the floor of the House of Representatives. And on September 9th, in a 12-hour markup in the House Appropriations Committee, of which I am a member, as well as voting on the House floor. Should you prefer video to the words of a member of the federal legislature, feel free to view the House Appropriation Committee's recording of said event on that date. To quote Ronald Reagan, facts are stubborn things. Merry Christmas." So this guy attached YouTube video where he can be clearly seen on camera and participating in official congressional business. But Candace's expert, Mitch, who just so happens to have multiple identities in this sordid past and have spoken on all these podcasts where he volunteers himself as having seen some clue to the conspiracy, he's certain that he saw that congressman on the military base meeting with Erica Kirk and Turning Point's security head, this super duper real meeting that happened, except one of the key contentions is wrong. Now, Candace has tried to show an incident report from the military base to prove that Mitch was there. And okay, maybe that's real, maybe that's true, but clearly his identifications, or testimony as she called it, aren't true and aren't real, because a key part of the story has just been brutally debunked in 4K. So much so that Alex Jones of InfoWars is even joining in on the debunking parade, laughing about how ridiculous this is. The conspiracy guy of all conspiracy guys. Like, if you ask most Americans, like, oh, who's the wackiest conspiracy theorist you've ever heard of? They'll say, oh, maybe Alex Jones. He thinks this is crazy. He did a whole segment debunking this, and I'll show you. He even went through. He's got a screenshot right here. I'll put it on screen of the committee hearing on September 9th at 11 a.m. Eastern, which is 8 a.m. Arizona time, where you can clearly see the congressman in the hearing. Guys, at some point, the wheels have to come off this thing. Like, Candace just keeps getting stuff wrong, keeps spinning. Also, has anyone told us what this congressman's motive would be for participating in a plot? This guy's from, like, Nevada, I'm pretty sure. He's not. What does he have to do with wanting Charlie Kirk dead? She doesn't even bother to explain all that. Yeah, let's just implicate some random congressman, throw his picture on screen, invite torrents of harassment from my crazy fans. At some point, we have to start holding people accountable when they repeatedly betray the audience's trust. But millions of people continue to tune into her and trust her. It is one of the things happening, and there's a lot of them. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of them happening these days that I truly don't understand. I just can't comprehend it. Do people enjoy being lied to? Do they think it's all just fun? Because listen, I can get behind a conspiracy theory or like a wacky host when we're talking about celebrity gossip or lighthearted things, but you are talking about public servants being accused of participating in murder plots and cover-ups. These are the kinds of things that, if you truly believe them, can lead to revolutionary or even violent acts. And so it is beyond reckless to make these kinds of explosive accusations and allegations when all the evidence you have is some crackpot dude who emailed you and just so happens to have witnessed this crazy thing that clearly didn't happen how he says it happened. But this is the investigator who's going to get to the real truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk. After her 6 ad reads, she's going to drop the next shoe is going to drop, guys. At some point, y'all got to wake up, got to realize that we're being lied to. These people are openly grifting, and they are either true believers or they just don't care, and they move on to the next thing. Because remember, she was supposed to post an update with all the receipts and proof backing up the Egyptian planes. And we're still waiting on that. She said she was going to post it all to her website. She has not, because she realized she couldn't because it was all made up and bullshit. So she just moved on to the next thing. Look over here, shiny metal thing. Come look. And this thing is also crazy and falling apart. And it's just an absolute disgrace. But other than that, Candace Owens is doing amazing. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, yada, yada, yada. And that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And be sure to rate and review the show wherever you listen on audio podcasts. And we will talk again real soon.